Okay, I see examples like on Japanese television of folks that have gone to Japan and made good working there. I cannot do that. I cannot work in the workplace and I can't interact with other people successfully. Successfully, and the reason is what I've said. People are instinctively responding to me in ways that make this impossible for me. So I'm going to show here a proof of what I'm saying. Okay? Now, I'm supposed to be severely handicapped, right? Now look around at this house that I have, the vehicles that I have, and the life that I've had. Okay, I work as a senior research analyst in a field I have no background in, and train myself to do on the job. And how do I survive on that job? Well, that's a whole other story. Okay. However, it's not by interacting with other people, okay? I sit at that desk as if I'm chained to it. I talk to no one. I don't budge from that desk except when it's acceptable to go to the bathroom, to go to lunch, and so on. And I don't leave a second before it's permitted to do that. I do that for 20 years. Now, this is what a severely handicapped person does, huh? I don't think so. Now, here's how I'm handling and how I've handled this severely handicapped thing. I marry a severely handicapped person. So any dealings I have with the public, I put her forward and let her do them while I manage from the background. Okay, the idiot here is managing the entire operation of our household in the background. Okay? So I've satisfied society's desire to have me associated with severe handicap. My wife says, you want to deal with severe handicap? Deal with her. Okay? That's how I handle that. Now, if I was severely handicapped, as I'm supposed to be, I could never have managed this thing the way I've done. I couldn't have done it. In addition, I learned sign language, something very hard to do for the healthiest individual. And I've lived in what I'm calling solitary confinement, okay, without a soul to talk to for over 40 years. And I've lived with my wife now for over 30 years in a successful marriage where the only communication with this wife of mine is through sign language. Now, if I was severely handicapped, every time I came into a conflict or difficulty, okay, and there are all kinds of emergencies and difficulties in marriage, right? I'd have to solve those through sign language. Try that. It's not your native language. You'll learn it when you're middle-aged like me. And you're frustrated, your wife is angry, or she's facing a problem, you're facing a problem, and the only way to solve it is through sign language. Try that. Try that. It's not your native language. It's far more difficult than spoken languages. Okay? And you're going to be severely handicapped as I'm supposed to be, and you're going to get through all of that the way I've done. No, you're not. And I got to say, as a witness to this kind of thing, that marriages between deaf and hearing people, which deaf people don't like, okay? They don't support marriages like that. In my experience, they do not. And my wife will tell you, in her experiences, they do not, okay? So you're up against that as well. So the society loves deaf people. Ask them. I'm not going to say more. This society never hired my wife, no matter how hard we tried to get her a job. She went to all the expected places like, what's it called? Vocational rehabilitation, these places. They could not get her a job. Okay? So faced with all of that, I'm severely handicapped with one of these serious mental diseases where I've been certified even And I've endured the stigma of that certification, which has shut me off from everybody who ever knew me, shut me off from my family, extended family, any friend I might have ever had or wanted to make. And I've lived with all of that successfully, okay? And I'm not going to say more, okay? As far as help, okay, that help, I call that the mental prison system. So figure out how much help I'm getting there or have ever gotten there or wanted to get there. I call that the mental prison system, and I keep that as far away from me as I can at all times. So here's my summing up today on the 4th of May, 2026, my mother's birthday. That's all from me for now. Nutshell, what have I just said? I've given a proof that I cannot interact with others, and it's not because I have severe mental disease. It's because of what I've been saying for the past few years. I'm saying that others are instinctively responding to me in a way that makes it impossible for me to get along with them. And why is that? What are they instinctively responding to? I've been saying that I was raped repeatedly, male raped while asleep. Didn't know what was happening, and this is broadcasting from me things about me which are completely being misunderstood by others. And they are rejecting me over and over instinctively because of these rapes that are broadcasting a message about me I can't control. And they're interfering with all my communications with others. And they've done that since the rapes began when I was around 14, and my life began to disintegrate from that point on, which I've offered book-length proof for, with showing that around that age, 12, 13, I was a star. And suddenly, for no reason, and I'm saying what the reason was, I began to be sexually preyed upon because I was so successful and so on and so forth. Now, there it is. I've got a severe disease. I have no such thing. I've just offered a proof for it. I'm saying my proof here is for what I'm saying about myself. I've been raped while asleep, and that has caused others to reject me and cause me the tragic life that I have, and I'm going to go on having apparently for the rest of my life. Well, there it is.